Favre coming into this game playing some of the best football of his career, throwing only 7 interceptions before tonight, where the Saints clearly won the turnover ratio. Coach Mitten called Saturday's performance sluggish and heavy-legged, but he is glad it happened now and not during a regular season game. Well, that's right, Tracy. It's been said that a team should peak going into the postseason, but if that were the case for the Morgan City baseball team, they wouldn't have been able to pull off their first-round playoff win. World Cup fever has not only hit the world, but also right here in St. Mary Parish. The Morgan City Soccer Clinic has doubled in participants just this year. After losing to Patterson twice this season, the Berwick Panthers finished 3rd in district. Head coach Mike Thomas said they're just plain lucky to be able to host their first-round playoff game.
Welcome back to KWBJ News. I'm Tatum Everett with your sports. And although it was the Hornets' second night without All-Star Chris Paul, it was actually familiar territory. Earlier this season, when Paul was out with an ankle injury, the Suns were stung at the hive. And last night, the Bees were hoping to do it all over again. Conservative play calling did not win the Super Bowl. Coach Sean Payton flirted with the line between insane and plain genius, making plenty of gutsy calls throughout the game. But no play took more moxie than the first call of the second half. Last night, 5th-ranked Ellender came to town to play the Morgan City boys basketball team. With only a week and a half left in the regular season, the Tigers were looking for an upset to stay in the district conversation. In fact, Patterson High let the good times roll in their final regular season home game against E.D. White yesterday on Mardi Gras Day. It may not be March Madness, but the feeling is similar down here in St. Mary Parish. This year, 5 teams qualified for the high school girls basketball state playoffs. And as basketball winds down, you can already hear the clink of baseball bats around the area. And that's all for your sports today. Stay tuned for more KWBJ News coming up next.
Having played Houma Christian earlier this season definitely was an advantage for the Centerville Bulldogs. Head coach Randy Bergeron knew they had 2 excellent ball players that liked to penetrate and get to the basket. So Bergeron relied on his zone defense to force Houma Christian to take jump shots instead.
I definitely learned, went back and looked at the game film, and we gave up a tremendous amount of layups. And I said, looking back on it, if I can just keep them from getting to the basket, we can beat these guys because we're going to score points.
Bergeron was right, and the Bulldogs did what they've done best all season. The Warriors only trailed by 6 after the first quarter, but the Bulldogs scored 30 points in each of the next 2 quarters to put them ahead 81-44 going into the 4th. With Centerville setting the nets on fire, there's no wonder Bergeron is excited about the way they're winning heading into the quarterfinals.
So that's 3 straight games over 100 points, and everybody's scoring the ball, and I like the way we're pushing the ball down the floor, and this is the time to peak, and I think we're doing it.
But in the past, the quarterfinals have been a hurdle for the Bulldogs. Centerville has lost in this round of the playoffs for the past 2 years.
There's plenty of motivation. I have 4 seniors, so the motivation's there. Win 1 more, and we back in the Cajun Dome, and that's what our goal was at the beginning of the year.
And so the Purple and Gold will try to accomplish that preseason goal and travel to Fairview on Friday, which is familiar territory for the team.
We played Fairview last year in the playoffs, and luckily we beat them in their gym, played a good game. So that's a feather in our cap, knowing we have confidence that we can do it.
The Patterson AAU basketball team is very lucky to have hometown star Worrell Spann as their new head coach. The Lumberjack alum is back from his recent 9-month stint overseas playing for a German professional basketball team. In between his European career and Patterson High, Spann spent 2 years at Navarro Junior College and the next 2 spotlighting at Southeastern Louisiana as a full-time starter.
He told me, he said, Mama, he says, I'm not going to stop playing basketball until I really get into it deeply.
Spann credits his supportive family 110%, as well as the Patterson community for allowing him to succeed.
When he was overseas, everybody would be asking about him and how was he doing, and I would tell him he's enjoying it, because he's doing something that he loves. He loves to play basketball.
Spann's passion and love for the game is what inspires him to give back to the community where it all began. While back in town, he volunteers his time with the Patterson AAU team and wants them to learn more than just better basketball skills.
I want them to understand I care about them. I want them to do good. I feel like, since I'm helping them out, they can see that I made it, so I know they can make it too.
Spann says he is not sure what the future holds for him, whether it be returning to European basketball, getting another degree, or coaching, but he knows it will involve the game.
As long as these legs keep going, I'm good. Put it that way. As long as my legs keep going, I'm good.
With their laces tightened and bowling balls ready, the high school bowling league rolled out their season yesterday. Central Catholic's team is starting its third season of competition and was excited this year to see their district grow from 1 team to 4.
This is the first time that we're going to have our own district here in Morgan City.
Berwick, Vanderbilt Catholic, and Morgan City have all instated bowling teams at their schools and competed against Central in a jamboree yesterday afternoon. The matches are held at either Charlie's Lanes or Creole Lanes in Houma and are free and fun for the family. As for the students, Borcato, who's also one of the managers here at Charlie's Lanes, says that anyone can join the bowling team. No experience is necessary.
A few of them have bowled youth league, but a majority of the kids actually have not. They'll come bowling on the weekends or things like that, and they just love the sport, so they thought they'd give it a try.
Borcato adds that it's a great way to meet new friends and get involved in their schools.
It kind of gives those kids that do not play those other major sports an opportunity to still do something for their school.
The coaches have received interest from other schools around the area like Hanson Memorial and want to see more teams from the Houma-Thibodaux area. The schools just want to take the right steps towards a truly competitive district.